Hi everyone, welcome to DIY with Caitlin. I have a very awesome succulent project for you guys today. And
this way or that way?
What?
This way?
Oh yeah, do it sideways. My cameraman is telling me to go sideways on the video. So I have a really awesome succulent project for you guys today, and I've got a ton of succulents here. I'm in sunny Southern California, which is the succulent capital of the world. Mm-hmm. So where are you guys all tuning in from? And is it this nice out? Because it's a beautiful day today.
It's a beautiful day.
San Diego. So I've got a variety of succulents here today, and not only am I going to share with you guys how to put together a really cool succulent planter, but I'm also going to show you some kind of unique ideas on how to use succulents, and then also care and maintenance tips, because I know so many people who have killed succulents.
So should I go up and down?
And so we are going to... Mom, you're covering the camera.
Okay, sorry. All right, now we got it.
All right, so what we're going to do first is I've got the succulents here, and I'm going to start by putting a layer of dirt into the bottom. So the first thing that people tend to do that's wrong with succulents is they either block the, you want to make sure you have something that's well draining. So you want the water to be able to run through. So I've got something like this. You can also pick up kind of cool, funky containers at like thrift stores, garage sales. So I've got this like really pretty hand-painted ceramic planter box here. And we're going to use this to put together a planter today too, which I think is going to be really nice, like in the center of a coffee table out on your patio or on a side table or something like that. Okay.
The golden retriever is having some issues.
We have a
old golden retriever who wants her ball, apparently.
So where is everyone tuning in from?
Oh, let's see. Jacksonville, Florida, Ohio. Let's see. Mojave, California, Long Island. Columbus, Ohio, where it's raining. Sorry about that.
Okay. So what we're going to
Kansas City.
What we're going to do first, hi everyone.
Parrish, Florida.
We're going to start by putting some soil into the planter here.
Oh, Gail asked, what about drainage?
Yeah, so if your container doesn't have a hole in the bottom of it, what you can do is just be more careful when you're watering it. So I'm going to go over care instructions for both types of planter boxes in a minute. But it just slightly alters how often and how much you water. Okay. So it is possible. So in another Hometalk Live, I talked about how to create a succulent planter in a cut bottle. And so if you're using like a little, wine bottle half and you're planting succulents inside of it, you might not actually have, you're not going to have a hole in the bottom of that either. And so it's possible for succulents to grow in there as well. You just have to be a little bit more careful of how often you water it.
See, we got people, another Lake Charles, Louisiana, Port Orange, Florida, Indian River, Michigan. Oh, Glenda says, I kill every plant.
Oh no, Glenda.
Dayton, Ohio,
We're
Shawnee,
here to
Oklahoma.
help
Yeah, we'll help you.
So one of the other things I wanted to mention, since succulents are so popular right now, but I think so often there's a lot of misconceptions about how to take care of them or what they should, how to make them thrive. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer your succulent questions.
Here's a question. What is a succulent plant?
So a succulent is just a type of plant that stores water in its leaves. So all cacti are succulents, but not all succulents are cacti. So it's just part of the plant family.
Favorite gardening project.
Okay, and then also, today you guys were giving away a Hometalk tote bag. So all you have to do is leave a comment saying what is your favorite gardening project that you've ever done. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys have. And then at the end of this Hometalk, I'm going to show you my favorite gardening project that I've ever done at the very end.
Yeah, which is very cool. It's worth waiting for.
Okay, so now that we have a nice bed of dirt here, I want to mention the kind of dirt I use. So you want to use like cactus soil specifically. So this kind of soil is well draining. You don't want soil with a lot of like mulch in it, and you want kind of a sandy soil. So they do sell at like Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever your kind of home gardening store is. They sell cactus and succulent specific soil, so make sure to look for that. Okay, so I've got the dirt all here. So a lot of times people aren't really sure how to put succulents together. So here's a few tips about succulents. You can plant them basically on top of each other. The root systems can kind of coexist. And so you want the arrangement to be kind of dense for it to look best. And then also, what you want to do is, oh, there's some bugs in this guy. You want to expose the roots before you plant it. So, and then here, see how there's kind of some dead debris in here? Pull these things out. You can kind of be rough with your succulents. So I try to pull out any dead leaves, anything like that before I plant. And then you'll also notice succulents are so fascinating with how they propagate and create. So this is actually a little shoot. Can you guys see that this is a separate plant coming off here like this? So what we can actually do is we can actually pull this guy off, and this will turn into its own plant. So we'll just leave that there for a minute, and then I'm going to continue cleaning this guy off.
Somebody wants to ask, is an aloe a succulent?
Good question. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, so they've been talking about their favorite projects.
Oh, what are
One
some
was
of the
like
projects?
a fairy garden.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
I made, and then somebody said I made a pond complete with water lilies and waterfall and added palm trees and tropical fruit trees. Looked like a part of a tropical island.
Wow, that sounds very involved. I
Yeah.
wonder how long that project took.
I don't know. Somebody else says their favorite project is a herb garden. My favorite gardening project was my Mother's Day mini roses.
Lovely.
Making a water fountain. Oh, I planted flowers in an old chair. It worked out beautifully. That's really interesting.
Okay, so when you're creating a planter arrangement, the first thing you want to do is kind of pick your focal piece plant. So that's going to be the plant that's bigger than the rest of the plants we have. So that's what I want this guy to be my focal piece plant. And so you have to decide, is this something that's going to be seen from all sides? Is it something that you only, if you're going to put it in front of your front door, it's going to be facing forward and you don't have to worry about the back side? So in this case, I would put this like on a coffee table so you're going to see it from all over the place. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to kind of build it forward facing. So I'm going to actually slightly slant the succulent towards you guys and build the arrangement that way. So I'm just going to scoop out, now that all the roots are kind of exposed here, I'm going to scoop out a little bit of dirt and kind of push this guy in and kind of lean it forward. Another trick when you're building these arrangements is to try to look for a variety of like shapes, colors, and textures. So if you use all kind of the same style succulents, it's not going to look as attractive. But if you use some succulents that have like hints of red in it or hints of purple or something like that, it's going to give it a lot more contrast and like fun color. So I really love this. This is a ruffled echeveria, and it's got a beautiful ruffled color with some pink. You can hear the golden retriever is not happy she's being ignored.
Well, she wants somehow for me to drop this camera and get her a ball. So we didn't plan on that happening.
Yes. Minerva, that's enough.
Somebody had planted herbs in galvanized buckets. That sounds interesting.
That does sound cool.
Oh, somebody wants to know the names of some succulents. That's going to be a tough one.
So this is a ruffled echeveria. We can go through, the names are still on this. This is a campfire plant, and you can see it's got little tips, little red tips. And the other kind of cool thing about succulents is if you stress them out, the colors will change. So for example, if I put this succulent, this campfire plant, in a very sunny location and give it less water, the leaves will turn brighter red. Okay, so that's a campfire. This guy here is a super burro's tail, or also known as Harry Butterfield. Kind of a fun little guy. This is a blue pearl succulent. And then this guy over here that I've got is a Sorrento or a Sedaveria hybrid. And again, you can see the little tips of red here. This guy will get brighter red if we stress him out.
This is an interesting project. My favorite project was taking little clay pots of different sizes and having them pour into each other to create a waterfall effect. I used a little water pump to keep the water recycling.
Oh, that sounds
That
great.
sounds very interesting, very involved.
So here's another tip when you're working on your succulent project. So you guys just saw me take this out of its little container here. Succulents can actually be broken up into different pieces. So I can just take this guy off. I can break this in half here. And then I can just multiply the number of plants I have. So out of this tiny little cup here, I got 5 different plants. And these will continue to grow and be happy campers. And so I can kind of arrange them and spread them out in this planter box. So I'm just gonna, but again, when you do that, you wanna expose the roots. That just helps transfer it into its next pot better when the roots are kind of exposed and ready to suck up nutrients in its next environment. So what other succulent questions do you guys have? Can we get some, if you're into succulents, can we get some likes? Let's see how many likes we can get for people into succulents.
Somebody said, Deborah says, I replanted some plants. I left them outside. Now it's rained so much that the plants look like they're dying.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my. Oh, somebody said aloe is a succulent.
Yeah, that makes sense because succulents tend to store water in the leaves, which is also why they don't need to be watered regularly. So succulents are great for kind of low maintenance gardeners because you only have to water them once a week. So basically, here's a care tip that a lot of people get wrong on succulents. You want to water the succulent heavily once a week, usually once a week. And then when the soil is completely dry, then you water again. And so you give it a good soaking and then let it completely dry and then give it another good soaking. So in Southern California where it's pretty hot, like most of the year, that's usually once a week. In the wintertime when it's a little bit cooler, it could be like once every 2 weeks or once every week and a half. But a lot of people actually end up killing their succulents because they water it too much. I
think that's me.
And my mom's killed a lot of plants.
I've killed a lot of plants. Okay, so I got a question. Barbara Joe says, when you pulled that off, like we're talking about the succulent you divided up, do you have to let it dry out?
So when you're just pulling the plants apart, you don't have to let it dry out. It's if you are propagating it and actually cutting clippings off that you want them to dry out for a while before you plant.
Because I know, Kaylin, you would have on your condo window, you'd have all these little leaves that you were drying out.
Yeah, so succulents can, they're very trendy plants and, they can be kind of expensive. And so what I like to do is propagate my succulents. And basically it's just it's a free way to get more plants. And one of the ways you can do that is you can actually literally just pull a leaf off a succulent. So like I'll show an example here. You just pull a leaf off a succulent. And then I'll just let this, usually I do like 20 or 30 leaves at a time. And I just let this leaf in a kind of cool shady spot for a couple weeks.
Okay.
And it will actually form little roots and grow into a brand new plant, which is amazing. So this leaf will start to shrivel up as the new plant grows and pulls its nutrients from this leaf. So that's like pretty fascinating and pretty cool that succulents can do that. Another thing you can do to propagate, so for example, I pulled this guy out a couple days ago to show you. So you can see there's other plants coming off this stem. So I can pull this off. So I just pulled this little guy off and this will become a new plant. And so these are the ones when someone asked about drying, this is the stuff you want to set out and let it basically just dry for a day or two on these cuttings. And you can actually see this one has already started to form a new root system. So once you start seeing roots like this, you could just...
Ooh, people don't like that.
People don't like that you...
I got a lot of frowns on that.
Oh, no,
I don't know.
Guys,
oh my goodness, what happened?
This is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, here, I did all of these a couple weeks ago. I want to show you guys. I'm not harming the plant at all. I promise. So look, if I pull this guy up, look, you can see its little pink roots starting. This guy's formed a new plant, and this was just attached to another plant 2 weeks ago.
Okay, we got some loves now.
Yeah, can we get some loves for
Yeah,
the
I guess
succulents?
people thought we were killing off
People
these
don't want
succulents.
free plants, apparently. So
Yeah,
look, here's another one. You can see all the little roots. Look at this root, all the way coming off just this little guy that was just a few weeks ago. So remember, when you're propagating succulents, you can either pull the leaf like this, or you can pull the little plants off like this.
Now, how long do you keep them out there?
So with the leaves, you can keep them out there until the leaf literally shrivels and falls off the new plant. For these guys, you know, you leave it out a couple days if you do the cuttings. And then what you can do is instead of planting it, you can just place it right on top of the soil like this.
Okay.
And, all right. So I'm going back to, you know, taking all the soil off these guys here. So I'm going to pour out my next plant.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Oh, somebody planted succulents in a vintage bedpan. Wow.
Oh, that sounds cool. Although a little, maybe a little weird. Was it a used bedpan?
Well, I'm sure it was used, but I'm sure it was cleaned out.
Yeah, I suppose. I always thought it would be cool to do it like in a wheelbarrow, or if you had like a really old vintage like truck and you just filled the back with succulents. I always thought that would be so cool.
Karen said, my favorite was moving all the lava rocks out of a huge flower bed to plant tons of yellow and purple iris. It was a hodgepodge. I didn't know which was yellow and which was purple till they came up. That sounds great.
That sounds beautiful.
Oh, somebody grew potatoes with his son when he was 5 from a project we found in a Boring Day Projects book. That sounds interesting.
All right.
Oh, somebody says their daughter plants succulents in old rusty toolboxes.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Yeah, that would be cute. Oh, Linda says her dog Onyx says hello to your dog.
Oh my gosh, Minerva's being a little pain over there today.
Oh, someone's putting succulents in old work boots.
All right, so I'm just about done. So look at this, guys. I just want to show you how these plants are just literally falling apart. So if you take the soil off of it, you can just see like how many plants this makes up. And again, you can just, hopefully I don't get any unhappy faces when I do this, but you can just pull this guy off and have a whole nother plant. So I'm going to show you guys that again because it's such a cool concept. I've multiplied my succulents so dramatically just by doing this. So look, here's the plant. You can see it's got these 2 little plants coming off of it, and I can literally just pull it off and have a whole new plant. Pull this guy off and have a whole new plant. And what you want to, when we said about the timing, you just want the bottom to scab over slightly. So basically in a couple days this will be slightly scabbed, and then I can just pop these right into the soil here. Okay?
Okay, somebody had a question. If you plant succulents in the ground, should they be full sun?
Okay, great question. So when you're planting succulents like sun, but they don't like direct sun. So if you've got a sunny location, that's great, but they can get scorched and burn if you put them in direct sun all day long. So like if I lived in Arizona, I would not, you know, subject my succulents like to the full heat of the Arizona sun. So they're very hardy, but they can get burned, which is kind of counterintuitive. Look at this guy, how funky this is. So we've got plants coming off both sides of the florets here. So again, I'm just gonna break this guy off. And if the leaves come off, that's fine too, because we can propagate those. And so now we've got these little guys. And this guy actually looks like it's getting ready to flower, which is kind of cool.
Okay, can I ask another question? Yeah. Helena says, I have a blue pearl, and almost all the leaves fell off as soon as I transplanted it. Any suggestions?
I haven't had that experience happen to me before. I wonder if the leaves fell off because you were rough with it? I mean, the leaves of succulents
they're pretty hard to...
They fall off like somewhat easily, so if you kind of like bump a plant, you know, the leaves can fall off. So I would just, you know, just try to be careful when you're transplanting them. Other than that, I'm not really sure what would cause that.
Hey, Rachel says, have you ever used food-colored water to change the color of the plants?
I have not done that, but that
do you think
sounds
that
like
would
an
work?
Awesome experiment. Well, you know, people do that with carnation flowers, but I don't know if it would work in soil. That's
well, because you had said if you don't water as much and have more light, it will stress it and turn it red, right?
Right, but that's because not necessarily red. It's just those are the colors inherent in this particular plant. So, for example, if the plant has like pink hues in it, the pinks will become more magnified.
Swipe to the right. Oh, somebody didn't want to look at the comments, so you can swipe it to the right if you don't want to see the comments.
Okay, so what I'm doing, you guys can see I'm really nestling the plants in pretty tightly when I'm building the planter here. And it's going to look better when you kind of stack them on top of each other like this.
Dorinda wants to know, for those who are not plant friendly, are these easy to grow?
Definitely. Like I said, they, just require some, they like a lot of sunshine, but not necessarily direct sunshine, and watering once a week. I mean, San Diego and Southern California is a great climate for succulents, but you can definitely grow them in other parts of the country too. So when I'm building this planter, I try to put some taller items in the back and kind of lower things in the front. And again, this is part of what I talked about changing up texture and color, kind of trying to mix different arrangements, and then it's going to look even nicer when we do things like that. So like this guy's a little bit taller. This is just a clipping I clipped a couple days ago, so you can see the bottom's kind of scabbed over now, and this guy's ready to just be planted right in here. And if I wanted to, I could just break another one of these guys off and have more of them.
Okay, Rosanna wants to know, can I put succulents in a dark office with no windows?
No, you cannot. Definitely you cannot. Unfortunately,
sorry, Rosanna.
That's a mistake a lot of people make, is they try to put succulents in dark rooms, and what will happen is something kind of like this. See how this floret has kind of grown outward and gotten kind of leggy? Mm-hmm. The succulents will grow up trying to find sunshine. So you'll end up with this like kind of long, awkward looking plant instead of kind of like a nice, tight, flower looking plant. Or more often than not, if it's really dark in a room, the succulent will just sit there and not really grow, because they definitely do need sunlight to grow.
And a couple people have been asking about, they missed that soil, so could you show them that bag again?
Oh yeah, definitely. So this is just one type of soil, but it could be anything. It's cactus specific and succulent specific soil is what you want. It's just well draining. It's kind of sandier in texture. It doesn't hold a lot of moisture, which is, you don't want your succulents to get soggy. They like to be fresh. So you guys can see I'm just kind of fitting
this was
plants
cute.
in.
Jessica says, my favorite garden project, I took my mother-in-law's chipped everyday blue willow china and used a handheld clipper and chipped it into mosaics and put them around a clay pot, just a reminder of her in our garden. That's sweet. We do mosaics too.
We are into the mosaics.
We are
over
totally
here.
into the mosaics.
We've been going to a lot of thrift stores and garage sales and buying up china and smashing them in the backyard.
Yeah. I could show them one of those stepping stone.
No, it's
Okay.
My mom's very proud of her mosaics. She wants to show all of you. Speaking of which, can everyone thank my mom for helping us out today? Mom, I appreciate you helping film
you're welcome.
this Facebook Live event. So nice of you.
Sure.
My mom's my step-in camera woman.
Yeah.
So again, I'm putting some of the taller succulents in the back and kind of building this out this way. And then you can kind of just push them in and then, kind of fill the dirt in around them. And the root system, it looks like it's really tight right now, but the roots will just, they can just kind of coexist and cohabitate in there with each other. It's okay. So you don't have to worry about them being too jammed in there. It's okay. The little guy back here. Let's see what else.
Mark says, I am the worst with succulents. You just helped me save plant lives.
That's what we're here for, Mark. So another little trick, I forgot to bring one today, but if you get a paintbrush, like a little paintbrush, you can actually kind of get some of the dirt and stuff out of the leaves when you're finished. And that can really kind of help, just kind of get rid of all the little pieces of dirt or pebbles or whatever. So this is our first planter we did. So let's take a look. What do you guys think?
Wow. That's nice.
So that'll be really lovely to put on, a coffee table or, outdoors, or if in your kitchen window if it gets a lot of sun. So I'm going to move on. We've got I love this blue enamel pot, so I wanted to put this guy together too. So again, I'm going to start with my cactus soil at the
Oh, you got a
bottom.
lot of likes for that.
Yay!
Oh, Lori had a nice thing. She said she split the peace lily from her brother's funeral and turned 2 into 6. That's
Oh,
lovely.
wow. That is lovely.
Oh, Barbara says I would like to see something on air plants.
Oh, I love air plants.
She does love air plants.
Okay, so again, kind of deciding what my focal piece plant here is going to be. Let's see. Actually, this is the guy that we grabbed from the earlier plant. I think I could even use him. We're already finding a use for you.
There's been a lot of discussion about our hens and chickens succulents, which I think they are. Chicken and hens?
Like the bird?
No, it's like a succulent called chicken and hens. We don't. I don't think you have any right at the moment, but there's been a lot of chatter about those.
Wow.
But they are succulents.
All right. Well,
There's somebody from St. Louis, my hometown. I hope the Cardinals won today.
Mom, don't say anything about baseball. We don't want any angry faces coming in on
I
the
know
face.
there could be
We
a
don't
lot of
want-
Cubs fans who are angry.
No, don't antagonize anyone,
All right,
please.
sorry. Oh, I got a sad face.
See, that's not. Don't do that. So I want you guys to see how easy this is to put in. So I've got. Here's another thing. When you're building your planter, fill the dirt line all the way to the top. I hate it when I see a beautiful succulent arrangement and it's sunk 4 inches down, and then you really can't see the plants because it's not above the container. So really fill your dirt line all the way to the top, and you can even on bigger pots, you can actually like mound the dirt up over the planter and then plant into the mound so that your whole arrangement is above the rim. So that's kind of a little tip for you guys.
I didn't know that. Huh. Deirdre said the barbecue rusted out the bottom, so I covered the bottom, leaving for drainage, and then planted my herbs in there. Wow.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
Somebody asked, could you do these in an outdoor bird bath?
Definitely. That would be a very cute project.
Somebody planted succulents in a bread box.
Oops. So I'm just going to poke this guy in there and just kind of push it down in with some dirt. And you guys can see this is starting to fill out here. Oops. Just kind of keeping this all in.
Huh, Sandra says, wow, what a coincidence that you are live. Just came home from shopping with my first succulent plant. I am so excited now. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the shout out. That's awesome.
Got another hens and chicks comment.
So for those of you who are tuning in just now, we're doing some succulent arrangements. I'm teaching you guys not only how to put them together, but some care tips. And I just want to make sure this is something everyone understands. When you get a succulent, they just so naturally love to multiply. If you have a plant growing off the main plant, you can just snap it right off. And then this will grow on itself too. So usually I wait a day or two before I plant it. If you planted it right away, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but its success rate is higher if you give it a few days before you plant it.
Oh, somebody said, Gina says the scab that you were talking about, Kaylin, is called a callus.
Oh, okay.
C-A-L-L-U-S. Okay, Rhonda wants to know, are succulents okay in the shade?
Yeah, so as long as they get a lot of sunlight, the shade is fine. So like some people, like I have some succulents in my kitchen window because I have a big, bright kitchen, and that's okay. The problem is if they don't get a lot of, they don't need direct sunlight. They just need sunlight. So shade is okay.
In fact, your big project that you're going to show at the end, it's on a deck that's pretty shady.
That's shady, yeah. So look, you guys, you can see we've already put together this second planter. It actually kind of matches my nail polish, I'm just noticing now.
Oh, I got some frowns again. What the heck?
All right.
What's going on, people? Now I got hearts.
Oh, thanks, guys, for the hearts. We
Wow.
like hearts a lot better than the frowns.
Yeah, what's with that?
All right, so
Okay,
now,
got lots of hearts.
now
going.
that I've showed you guys, look, this is the plant. Maybe we can get some hearts for showing this one again. So here's the first planter we put together. So you can see, just remember, you want a lot of diversity in color. You want a lot of diversity in texture, in size of your plants. When you're building your planter, bring the soil all the way up to the top. Pick a focal point plant that's bigger than the rest of the plants. and then build out from that point. So whatever your focal plant is, put that one in first and then build out around it. So now that we kind of put 2 planters together, I want to show you some other really fun projects that I've worked on in the past that I'm a fan of.
Hey, could I ask you a question
Sure.
first? She wanted to know, when you break off the succulents,
Right.
until they're ready to be back in the soil, where would you put them?
You could put them on a windowsill. I just leave mine out. I have a little kind of deck, and it doesn't get a ton of sun, so I just leave them on the sill there. It's pretty low maintenance. Don't put them in like direct sunlight. You know, just on your windowsill would be fine. Okay, so here's kind of a reveal. So this, I want to talk a little bit about succulent containers. So I got this at a garage sale for $1, and these are all just succulents that I just clipped off plants that I already had. So you guys can see that once you have kind of a, like a, library of plants, it's really easy to just cut them off and then make more plants out of them. This is a little cactus garden that's actually pretty cute because it's about to flower. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. And so this is just an anthropology bowl, and I just planted these guys right in it, and then I broke up a geode. You can see that. And then I put some rocks in the broken geode on top as like a little bit of decoration.
That's cute. That was also from a garage sale, that bowl.
And then here's another little succulent planter. So remember, on the things like this that don't have holes in the bottom for drainage, you can see this is just, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful when you're watering them, because you don't want your succulent to sit in water. So I am just a little more careful when I water things without holes. Maybe I water them a little bit less, or I give them a little bit less water with a less frequency. But it is possible to grow succulents in things like this. All right.
There's a question that a lot of people have asked,
Uh-huh.
which I don't know if you're going to know because we live in San Diego. Can these grow in the cold, or can they survive the winter, or do you know anything about that?
No, I don't think that they would be able to survive outside in the wintertime. I think that they have to be in a relatively mild climate, which is part of the reason why they love San Diego so much. Okay, so the final reveal, my favorite, we asked you guys what your favorite gardening projects was, and now I'm going to share with you what my favorite gardening project was. So since I don't have, I live in an apartment, I don't have a big garden, and so I've had to come up with creative ways that I can still incorporate plants into my life, and so I came up with this guy here. Ugh.
Okay.
So I took an old chair, I took the seat off the top of it, and I attached a piece of plywood to the bottom of the chair, and then, I basically just filled it with some soil, and then I planted a bunch of succulents inside of it. So this kind of gives you an idea of the diversity of like things you can plant succulents in. So again, you can see like my focal point plant is here, and I kind of tilted it all towards you guys because this is how people will see it. Having different textures like these string of pearls that are round and kind of things with different colors and shapes really will make your succulent planters a lot more attractive. So really try to mix it up as much as you can when you're working on it. And then I painted the chair a bright teal color because I love this color. And it just sits on the front porch.
On the front porch. North facing, so it's in the shade most of the day.
So everyone, my name is Caitlin. My Facebook page is DIY with Caitlin. It always totally makes my day if I get new likes or comments on what you guys are up to. So I would really appreciate it if you guys went over and liked that. Appreciate it ahead of time. And Hometalk does these Facebook Lives frequently, so you can always tune in and see what they're up to. There's a lot of really awesome and creative people doing cool stuff, so make sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys in my next project.
Thanks.